What's going on, guys? Mitch here, Fat to Fast. Um, I just woke up from a nap I worked this morning. Um, Supposedly recovered in a little bit of a funk today. Um, got strength intervals. We're gonna see how it goes. Let's get into it. All right, y'all. Just finished strength intervals. Struggled. My zone 2 heart rate was supposed to be my zone 1. Just stayed zone 2, and then my zone 3 was my zone 4 for the day. That's freaking great. Still completed the 60 cadence strength intervals. So let's go ahead and talk about something slightly different today. So for several of you, you know I've struggled with nicotine addiction for a lot of my life. Since I was like 16, 17, I vaped, I dipped, smoked cigarettes, smoked cigars. Well, today it's a small victory, but it's still a victory. Day 3, no nicotine. I'm probably gonna say that's why I feel awful. Alright, guys. We struggling today. We struggling. Heart's not wanting to participate in the ride, you know. Yeah. But we gonna complete it. I can do anything for 45 minutes if I put my mind to it. We got Hannah out here on her first ride. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Fat to Fast. Today's video, I'm going to be breaking down exactly how I've been losing weight, what I eat, how I fuel my rides, and what has actually worked for me so far. Before we get into that, though, let's go ahead and talk about my weekend review. Sunday, I was able to do a wonderful 1-hour ride with my beautiful girlfriend, Hannah. This was our first group ride together. She absolutely killed it. It was super hot that day, but we had some beautiful scenic trail. And as you got to see in those clips prior, some of those were with Miss Hannah, and it was a great day, great rides. And as always, you know I'm gonna have that the route posted for you. Let's go ahead and move into Monday. Monday, shout out to my boy Kyle. Kyle is an absolute freak. He raced at Unbound, and me and him got to do it was roughly like an hour 30 on the bike together on Monday, because I had a zone 2 hour ride on Monday, if y'all remember from the last episode. Well, Kyle is also just a specimen, right? I didn't realize it at the time, but he had already been riding for an hour. This man completed 3 hours, 50-ish miles. Like, I mean, he was just cruising around Fayetteville like he owned the place. Kyle, you're a freak. Shout out to you, brother. Also, all the footage that you're going to be seeing right here is mine and Kyle riding around Fayetteville, Springdale area. So enjoy the footage. And thank you, Kyle. Tuesday, we did strength intervals. Strength intervals were a good time. Just low cadence, a lot of strength being put out. Truly a great freaking time. Heart wasn't really cooperating, but I mean, sometimes the body's just, you got to take what the body gives you. And then Wednesday, I was supposed to do sprint intervals. Just unfortunately, I've been moving and stuff, so I was unable to complete that workout this week. So I completed strength intervals 1 week and I completed sprint intervals 1 week. So this week is going to be the culmination of those two, hopefully. Let's go ahead and talk about next week's rides. And you guys are accustomed to me at this point, hopefully, posting my workouts for the week. But it's literally the same as last week, minus on Sunday, instead of it being an hour zone 2 ride, it's going to be a 2-hour zone 2 ride on Monday or Sunday and Monday. And then on Tuesday, it's going to be strength intervals, and Wednesday is sprint intervals. I just don't want the channel to get too repetitive, so I'm not going to be posting those workouts, because if you want, you can go back. Please check out my old videos, please. Anything helps, you know. So, yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the meat of this episode. Um, First of all, talking about diets and all this stuff, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm just a regular guy using a bike and a better diet to drop serious weight. Let's talk about where I am currently. I've lost 40 pounds since the start of my journey. I started the journey at roughly 285, and I'm now down to 239.8 as of making this video. The biggest changes occurring aren't just physical, truly, it's mental. I've got more energy, I'm sleeping better, and I wake up every day ready to tackle the next hurdle. If you know me, I've never been a morning person in my entire life. So when I'm feeling good when I wake up, something's not normal. So I mean, they started calling me Chipper Jones, Spring Chicken, all these things. So it's crazy out here. Um, so all of this, all those benefits are coming from two things primarily: riding consistently and eating smarter. So let's kind of break into my diet a little bit. So calorically speaking, I'm allotted about 1,640 calories a day, plus the calories burned during exercise. Um, Something that I really, really want to caveat that last sentence with is that I repeat, or like, do not under any circumstances, like seriously, I repeat, do not eat every calorie you burned through exercise, especially if you're using a smartwatch. Um, and you might be saying to me, like, duh. Or you could also be on the other side of the fence and be like, why? The reason is our fancy little watches, while they do give us great data, they can't factor enough data to give us an actual number of calories burned. How do I correct this? So pretty much, most watches are anywhere from 20 to 40% inaccurate on what or calories burned during exercise. And so I am of the volition that you should always shoot on the over. So if you think your watch is 25% inaccurate, go for 50% inaccurate. So whatever my calories burned during exercise is I divide that number in half. So let's do simple math. If I burn 1,000 calories during exercise, I don't eat 1,000, I eat 500, because then that's going to correct for that inaccuracy in the data, which I find to be super important. I hit several plateaus, and the second I figured that out, my weight has continued to keep going down. Um, and then after you've done that simple math, you're not gonna backslide, and you're not gonna be overeating on accident. You don't want anything to be an accidental thing with your diet. Like if you're accidentally eating too much, then I mean you're just gonna see net negatives, and that's so demoralizing, you know. So just avoid the backslide. So let me break down the macros for my 1,640 calories. Uh, I am to eat roughly 123 grams of protein a day. My carbs, I eat about 308 grams of carbs, and fat is 83 grams. Uh, Now, let's go into like what a normal day of meals looks like for me. My breakfast generally consists of 3 to 4 eggs with salt, pepper, Tabasco, and 2 thick cut bacon strips. Okay, if you want your eggs to be tasting bomb without having to use butter or anything, cook your bacon first. And since we hopefully don't have to worry about cross contamination in our own kitchen, you just cook your eggs straight in that bacon grease. But it's so good. And you're looking at roughly, I think it's like 480 calories, you know. And then lunch and dinner generally consists of 6 ounces of protein and either a measured cup of rice. And when I say a measured cup, like get a cup measure out and scoop rice until that thing is full. Or I prefer potatoes, generally speaking. So I do about 150 grams of protein. And so if you notice, there's one common theme. My meals are anywhere from 400 to 500 calories, because if my meals are about 400 calories on the days I ride, then I can consume the calories that I need on the bike and then still be in a deficit. Um, Everything I eat that isn't breakfast gets put on a scale. So yes, that literally means, like, if I'm gonna eat rice, I need to know how many grams of rice I'm gonna be consuming. If I eat chicken, I need to know that it's 6.1 ounces of chicken, not just 6 ounces ballpark. Ballpark is a dangerous game, especially when we talk about weight. Um, so, uh, you absolutely don't have to do what I'm doing, but make sure you're tracking your calories. It's the only way to know exactly what you're doing, and then you can correct it exactly how you need to. Um, Beyond calorie counting calories and macros, it is simple. Here are three easy rules. If you don't want to count, it isn't 100%, but it'll get you moving in the right direction. No liquid calories. I found ways to replace my Dr. Pepper's and my sweet tea with Dr. Pepper Zero and Milo's 0 calorie sweet tea. Also, Dr. Pepper, Milo sponsor me, huh? Uh, it's the quickest way I found to cut useless calories. The next tip I've got for you is going to be no fast food or restaurants. Next time you go to a big name restaurant, try to leave without consuming close to 1,000 calories. Literally over half of my calories gone in one meal. So just avoid fast food and restaurants. Uh, and in my case, this one's pertaining more to me. No seconds, or in my case, thirds. Eat in moderation. Eat until you feel full. Also, don't just scarf your food down. If you scarf it down, your body doesn't have time to say, "Hey, I'm full." So make sure you pace yourself, like just little portions. And I promise you, before you know it, you'll be full if you do that. Um. So let me go ahead and preface this. I'm not always hungry, but I could always easily kill a snack in the calorie deficit I'm in. If I thought I was in a deficit and hop on the scale and it went up, what do you think that means? It means that either you overate or you weren't honest with the calories you counted. Literally, the last option is water fluctuation. While that can happen, we aren't fluctuating 3 to 5 pounds of water unless you drink a gallon of water, which is 8 pounds, right? So, like, gotta eliminate everything else before we start thinking it's water. Because I have had water weight fluctuations, but we just be on your p's and q's, please. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna actually kind of go back a step when we're talking about protein. Something that I find so important is accurate protein intake, and the way you're gonna find your accurate protein intake for your person and for me is it's not a gram per pound. That is one of the biggest common misconceptions that I hear on a daily basis whenever it does come to people talking about how much protein they should eat. Nobody should be eating 300 grams of protein unless you're Brian Shaw, Eddie Hall, the strongmen, it's a gram per kilogram of protein that you should be consuming. So that's why mine's about 123. I think I did do a little bit over, but it's only a gram per kilogram. So you can go do the quick math on that, like what's your body weight in kilograms, and then you can find an accurate measurement on that. Okay, so let's get into a part of the diet that I find so important, and that's going to be your basal metabolic rate. And what is your basal metabolic rate? That is going to be basically how many calories you can consume in a day and maintain exactly where you are. Not go up, not go down. Just think about basal metabolic being like your median calories for the day. And how can you find your basal metabolic? Smart scales, or DEXA scans is what they're also considered. They'll give you a pretty accurate BMR, BMR being basal metabolic rate. Um, I was also able to get a pretty close basal metabolic rate or BMR from my calorie counting app. And then I had a wild idea. I plugged in my metrics onto ChatGPT, and within 50 calories, I got a correct BMR. Um, so whenever you're going to figure out how big of a deficit that you should be in, you should go 500 calories below whatever your BMR is, and that's going to be a really good starting point. And then say you're not in the boat where you want to lose weight, but you want to gain weight. All you got to do is increase your protein intake and then bump it to 500 calories. So if you're at 2,000, go to 2,500 calories with healthy, lean foods. Um, All right, so let's go ahead and transition into talking about fueling for the rides because that's diet, but we don't diet on the bike. It's so important that you're not trying to lose weight on the bike. It is just a means to an end. I'm not trying to lose weight on the bike. I'm consuming the amount of calories and carbs that I need in order to ride my bike efficiently. Um, I'm consuming roughly 60 carbs an hour right now, and I'm actively trying to train my body to be able to digest about 100 carbs, which is roughly about 400 calories on the bike. And that's about how many you're going to burn in a hard hour on the bike. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less. Um, if you don't have carbs and or sugars, you're gonna what's in the biking community you could call it a bonk. You're gonna bonk. You're no longer gonna have the energy to be able to sustain hard efforts. And I mean, nothing's worse than when it doesn't feel like you have any juice left in the tank. Um, so before I ride, I always try to get like a solid snack in, like granola, something like that. Anything like 20, 30 carbs, because then you're just kind of front loading that carb intake and it's not solely dependent on the carbs you can get on the bike. Um, Cyclists in the world tour, nutritionists for cyclists, they literally refer to carbs as free drugs. Now I don't know about you, but back when I was in dare, they always promised me free drugs, and I found them. It's called carbs, and you just got to ride your bike for them to count, um so uh during my ride, I have recently been put on to a carb mix, and um it's going to be glucose and fructose powder. I put 33 grams of fructose and then 67 grams of glucose because your body can process both of those things individually. And it's not like, oh, glucose comes in, it processes the glucose and then the fructose, and then it processes the fructose. Fructose and glucose can be processed in your body at the same exact time. So it's basically like putting two types of premium gas in your tank, being able to process them at the same time. It's like maximum utilization of those carbs. Um, and that drink mix is roughly about 400 calories in that drink. So I just have to drink that one bottle, and I've got my calories and I've got my carbs for the entire ride. And I mean, that so far has absolutely revolutionized my cycling. And my buddy Colin and my buddy KT, like they've been doing the same things, and it has been uber successful for every single person. Um, Also, I want to go ahead and preface this. I'm not the genius who figured this stuff out. I'm a YouTube certified PhD. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've learned all this stuff just doing a bunch of research. So I could be completely inaccurate, but with confidence, this is not inaccurate. Consume carbs while doing intense activity, and I promise you, you will have a better performance output. Um, Now let's talk about post ride. Protein, 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 and then some more protein. As a wise British man once said, I can't eat my protein. Yes, you can. Eat your protein. Eat it. Quit whining. It's so simple. Meat. Who has the meats? You has the meats in your fridge. Go get them out, cook them, and before you know it, you're going to be hitting your macro of protein, and then your body's going to be able to build back stronger. And if you don't want to hear me freak out or ever replicate a British accent again, then eat your protein, because I will. If I hear you guys aren't eating protein, I'll start yelling in British accents, and we don't want that. Um, Now, not only is protein important, but carbs are going to be important because it's like I said, same with the bike. It's going to give you that energy, but it's also going to provide you with satiation. And so I don't know about you, but it's really important to be satiated, because especially after a long day of work, and then you follow it up with a hard workout. Um, Sometimes you want that little snack. Like I legitimately used to be like a cow. And I'm not, yes, weight wise, sure, cow, but I used to be like a cow in the sense that a cow will sit there and graze all day. So I might not even been hungry. I might have had a fat meal, but then I'm going around. I'm gonna have a peanut. I'm gonna freaking go get a pack of M&Ms. Like I'm just gonna eat little bits here and there, here and there, here and there. And before you know it, your insulin has been spiked for literal hours, and you've been high blood sugar for hours and hours and hours, and it's not good. That's not what we're supposed to be as humans. We're supposed to have periods of spiked insulin, and then where it tapers back down. And if your insulin's spiked all the time, you're just asking for a whole host of problems. um It's all about eating to perform, not to just top off the tank every minute. Um, uh, so far, what has helped the most isn't perfection, it's consistency. I've had days I ate too much, missed rides, or felt defeated. On those days, though, I didn't let them keep me down. I woke up the next day and rode my horse straight back into battle. And of course, that horse being my bike. My body's changing because my habits are changing. That's what's the key. There's no perfect meal, no diet, no workout routine that's going to fix everything. It's about finding a system that you can implement at every point in your life where there isn't a drag. It should feel almost seamless. Other than getting the system implemented, once it's implemented, then it should be nice, easy coasting from there. Guys, please remember every single calorie you eat counts. And I mean every calorie. That's why I'm down 40 pounds, riding stronger and staying focused. If you're on your own journey, drop a comment. Let me know how it's going. Got a diet that's working for you? Share it down below. I'd love to hear it. I love to learn and we can be stronger together. Remember, a bundle of sticks is stronger than one individual stick. Let's encourage each other and bring each other up instead of tearing each other down. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and check back next week for my week 3 update. And as always, let's ride.